Brand new week of the Art Lewis Show. It's Thanksgiving week, so I hope you are prepared for a great holiday. And we have lots of things going on this morning. After the 10 o'clock news, we're going to have folks here from the Hawkins Award. That's the high school football award that happens every year at this time. And at 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to learn about the 1016 Recovery Network. We're going to talk a little money this first hour and ensuring that you have some when you need it. Because with us this morning, a man you hear Sundays at 8 o'clock in the morning. He is with Great Lakes Investment Advisors. And we say good morning to Jason Kreiderman. Jason, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art. How are you this beautiful Monday morning?
Doing well. You ought to be used to this since you do it every week.
This is exactly what we do. Yep, it's interesting. We record on our Mondays, and as you mentioned, they hear my Your Financial Empower Hour that records on Mondays, but airs on Sundays. So I'm used to being in the studio on Monday mornings.
So let's, before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's investment schemes and stuff, a little bit about Jason Kreiderman. What got you into the financial business to start with?
Yeah, great question. So it's very personal for me, actually, Art. Goes all the way back to when my grandfather, my dad's dad, passed away from cancer. And my dad and his brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles, went to my grandma and went to her aid after she lost her husband. And the things they identified and uncovered that were happening inside of my grandma and grandpa's life financially, they just realized, wow, this doesn't seem right. Something is wrong here. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't look right. And so my dad decided to do a little bit of research into it. And this was 24 years ago now is when he told me we were both going to quit our jobs that we had at the time.
Oh, Dad told you that.
Dad said you're going to quit your job. And Art, if you're anything like what you probably were raising your kids, whenever I asked for a quarter, I can remember being 12, 13 years old, and I'd go to a football game or baseball game, Dad, can I get a Coke? It's 50 cents. He'd tell me, get a job. Get on the payroll, right? Get a job. And here I am. This is 24 years
brothers?
ago. Well, here we are 24 years ago. My dad says, hey, we're going to quit our jobs. And I'm like, well, what happened to you, Dad? Like, you're always telling me to get a job. And he said, well, after Grandpa died, what they uncovered happening in my grandparents' lives financially was not in their best interest. So he said, we're going to become trusted fiduciary financial advisors. So we, first of all, had a lot of work to do, starting out from scratch, because neither him or I were in that industry. So we had a lot of learning to do. So we did a lot of studying. We spent a lot of days and nights in the library learning about financial planning, learning about different products and services.
A lot of days and nights with no paychecks coming in.
A lot of days and nights with no paychecks. Yeah, when we started our first business 23 years ago, Art, it was in the spare bedroom of my house at the time. My wife loved the fact I was working with my dad. She did not love the fact we had an office in the house.
Or that you weren't getting a paycheck.
Or that we weren't getting a paycheck, yeah, because there was early evenings, or there was late evenings, early mornings, and so and she's like, you guys never left. So it wasn't about maybe 3 to 4 months into it. And she says, okay, love that you're working with your dad, but you guys need to get out of the house. And so she kind of pushed us out of the nest, forced Dad and I to get our first office, again, 23 years ago. And since then, it's just been an awesome, awesome ride. I just really take pleasure in, a lot of times my kids will say, how was work today, Dad? How was work? And I don't consider what I do work. To me, work's a 4-letter word. And what I do is a passion. I truly get up every morning. I get to look at the guy in the mirror looking back at me, and I get to say, you have an opportunity today to make a positive impact on families' lives, financially and personally. And to me, that's success every day, Art.
That's why I'm still doing what I do.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a
long time. A couple days longer than me. A couple days.
But it's interesting you bring that up, though, because a lot of my story is similar to yours. Not that I went to work with my dad; he was a special agent in Treasury. He was a Fed.
Oh yeah.
Wanted me to go into that, follow his footsteps. I had no interest, none
whatsoever.
Nope. But the bit about you won 50 cents, go out and earn it. I graduated high school young. I was 16.
Okay.
I got home that day from graduation, and on the dining room table were New York City work papers filled out for me by my dad with the address of the job he got me that started that Monday. That was a hint.
So it was a hint. You were getting a job.
I was getting a job.
There was no rest.
No, you're going to college. You're going to need pocket money. That's not coming out of my pocket, right. He said, Yeah. So, I think learning good work ethic is something that I think we're lacking today in some areas.
Yeah, I mean, I think we watch generationally, and I have 3 kids. You probably hear about it because every Sunday when I'm on my show, Your Financial Power Hour, we start talking about my family and the kids. And because to me, again, I tell all the families and all the clients I represent, it's not all about the money. It's about family. It's about relationships. It's about the experiences that the money allows you to have. And just like with our kids, we've noticed generationally. I think you're right. We've lost a lot of those values and those. Yeah, just the morals and ethics. I think we went through a phase, but we're really noticing, Art, that the younger generations, like with my kids that are 18, 15, and 13, we're really starting to see a shift change back again. So, I think it's maybe a cyclical pattern thing. And so it's good to see that now because, like my daughter Lexi, she's worked for me for 2 years in my office during the summer months. She works for me. When she graduated high school and she got accepted to Michigan State, I said, that's great, but honey, that's not till the fall. So from graduation till you step into the dorm at Michigan State, you're going to come work for Dad. And I said, you don't have to work for me, but you're going to get a job and work for somebody. And so, again, it's that work ethic and that drive and that responsibility and the worth of being able to contribute and give back to something and be appreciated for that. And right down to the nitty gritty of a dollar, right? What's it take to earn a dollar, and what's that dollar mean when you think you got a dollar coming in and you look at the paycheck and you're left with 60 cents, and she says, I thought I made a dollar and you gave me 60 cents. Well, there's something called taxes.
And that's the point where we start talking to you about money, because the next thing you want to know is how to take that dollar, which has shrunk to 60 cents, and make it grow.
That's right.
So before I take a break, I want to get some definitions here, and I talked to you about this before we went on the air. Explain to everyone the difference between a fiduciary investment advisor and a non-fiduciary.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and I'm glad you're giving us the opportunity to tell people what this is, Art, because really that's my job as a fiduciary advisor, is to educate people, right? Tell them what their choices are. There's differences out there. Not that there's a right or wrong. It's whatever you are more comfortable with. And really the word fiduciary, which we are legal fiduciaries, and what that means is from the word go, we must by law act 100% in every client's best interest, whether that be advice from the radio show, advice from one of my classes or seminars, advice from a phone call, or when they come and sit down with me, whether they choose to hire me or not. Fiduciary means by law, I must do everything 100% in their best interest. I must disclose any and all potential conflicts of interest, exactly how much and when I get paid. There's another big choice and a difference when we talk about getting paid, which is commission-driven or fee-based, which we are fee-based, not commission-driven. So, again, people don't realize they have these choices and options, Art. So it's a great opportunity to educate them on just here's what the differences are, and then I'll let them choose who they are comfortable working with.
It's interesting because, the fiduciary with a fee-based system like yours, as a client, I know going in what it's going to cost me. If this happens, this is what it costs.
Absolutely.
A commission-based business, I don't know how much I'm paying, but I'm paying for it through whatever I buy.
Sure you are. Yep.
Because it all comes out of my pocket.
It's all going to come out, right? I mean, nobody works for free. The old saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch. It's so true, right? And I've met a lot of people over the years, and I go to review their portfolio, and I say, well, how much are you paying? Oh, nothing. Well, we don't pay it. I don't think it's very much. We can't be... Well, then after we do some discovery, right, and we do some what we call a stress test or a MRI or an X-ray financially on their money, and we get to the fee section, and they didn't realize that there was a commission they were paying, there was a 12B1 management fee inside the mutual fund they were paying, and maybe they had a variable annuity which had a wraparound. And so we started, and people just need to know, well, what do you have and what are you paying?
All right, we're going to take a break. We're talking to Jason Kreiderman. He has Great Lakes Investment Advisors, and you hear him Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock here on WSGW. We'll talk a little money when we return.
Gotta go.
All right, we're back with you in studio with me, Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors. You hear him Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock here on WSGW. So, Jason, I can remember the days when the stock market was 1,500 and 2,000, and if you got a 100-point loss, the world was coming to an end.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Here we sit today in the 4,000s, and nobody blinks at a $100-point move anymore. Is this the craziest market you've ever seen?
It really is. It really is, Art. I've been doing this for 23 years, and as you say, we've watched the market go from the thousands to the 2,000 to 3,000, And you're right. I mean, before, boy, if it swung 50 points to 100 points, it was
Panic time.
Panic. Like, get ready. Like, this is not good. Now we can see that before noon. Before lunch hour, and we might see it too. It's crazy how much the market moves now, and I think a lot of it has to do with, well, a couple of things. Number one is we're so international now that when we used to go to bed, when the market would close at 4:30, and we'd go to bed, there was nothing happening, right? Banks were closed, Wall Street was closed. Well, now the more international we become over the years, we go to bed, other markets are just firing up and going. So by the time we wake up in the morning, things are so far advanced and ahead of us. And then I think the internet and technology advancements, and we used to do individual trades, and now we're talking block trades, like mass volume of trades that we can't even comprehend, and it swings that market so fast that it just becomes the normal.
And it's computers.
It's all computer now. It's you hardly have, you still see like the people running around on Wall Street and the ticker and the dinger and all those people running around and chits but that a lot of that is show, because all of it's driven by computer now. It's crazy how computerized everything has become, and what an amazing advancement. But again, it makes it very hard for individual people or families that wanted to and used to be pretty good at kind of being the do-it-themselfer and doing their own money management. Boy, the technological advancements nowadays and where we've gone, it's a heck of a lot harder for people to do it on their own.
And it seems to me in this crazy environment, with people relying, for example, on 401ks because, defined benefits are pretty much history, or going to be history.
That's it. They're gone. Yep, they're going away.
Everybody's in the risk pool now.
Oh, yeah. Well, in corporations, I mean, they realized when they gave that benefit of a pension, and then they realized after you retired as the employee, they would have to provide you a guaranteed paycheck for the rest of your life. And then if you chose a spousal benefit, not only after you passed, but they'd have to supply your spouse, who was not an employee of them, income from the rest of their lives. And that's a lot of financial burden and responsibility on the previous employer. And then you look at a lot of these employers, and let's just face it, they have a hard enough time managing their own portfolio and their own money. And you look at their stock prices and what they're doing. And so now they got to manage all these employees' monies. And so they very wisely said, hey, these pensions probably aren't the place to be. They shifted all that burden onto the employee now.
So let me ask you this. We'll go back 24 years, say your company's beginning. There was a time, and Social Security was based on it. You retired at 65, and you were dead by 66. The actuarial tables were fine. There were 10 people contributing to Social Security for every one taking. Now we live into the 80s, many people into their 90s and beyond.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Has it changed the way you have to strategize in terms of financial planning?
Yeah, it absolutely has. I mean, there's a lot of variables that come into play, and I tell everybody, and you probably hear this on my radio show on Sunday mornings on your Financial Empower Hour, I tell everybody, please do not do what your brother or sister or neighbor or girlfriend or church friend, please don't do what they did, okay? Because you used to be able to do that, and it probably worked out a lot better than it does now. But right now, everybody's lives are so different, from an income level to a spending level to a longevity and lifestyle, right? So we tell people that all the time. Like when you were going to get Social Security and retire at 65 and you were dying by 68, it was pretty easy to plan for retirement, right? There wasn't going to be much there. Now we're living a heck of a lot longer, which can be a very good thing, but it also means you might need more money to last a lot longer. So you have to be able to budget those retirement savings out, which means you probably need to have more saved for a longer retirement, as well as have more of an income plan built when you're into retirement. Before, you really didn't need an income plan. It was just, okay, my money's going to last me 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I'm going to pass away. Not a big deal. Well, now you might have 20 years or longer in retirement. That really takes special planning, special strategizing to determine how are we going to make this money last. First of all, did I save enough? Second of all, how do I make it last throughout my lifetime? And obviously, the longer we live, we become more susceptible to illnesses and sicknesses and diseases. And there's one thing I can guarantee you, and you know this, Art, that hasn't gone down at all. It's the healthcare costs.
Whoa.
Costs are skyrocketing across the globe anyhow, but healthcare costs are another one. And some of those insurances are a racket. It's crazy. And so to plan for that as well, not only your lifestyle, but your medications, your doctors, the healthcare is just crazy.
I had a way of explaining that for years. when was the last time you saw a hospital advertise, come stay with us, we're $1 cheaper than the guy down the road? No, it's come stay with us because we got all the bells and whistles.
Because we're the best.
Because we'll save your life.
Yep.
And I don't care about the cost.
The cost
you know,
doesn't
and
matter.
That doesn't matter. And
Nope.
the other thing that's happened, and I go back the way everything started with insurance. They taught us that health care didn't cost us anything. The insurance company was going to pay for it. So I didn't care how I used it. And I think that was a mistake.
Boy, it sure has changed,
I think
hasn't
you
it?
have to have a horse in the race.
You absolutely do. You know, and a lot of that, we not only is it the insurances, because you're right. Back in the day, it was like, okay, that's not going to cost you anything, right? We're going to cover everything. Well, same thing when we talk about the pension. Your employer said, look, when you're in retirement, we're going to cover your retirement income. We're going to give you a pension. Well, that's done now. You don't have the pension. So now all of a sudden you're paying for your own income in retirement. You're paying a heck of a lot more for your insurances than you ever thought you were. And then they throw the burden on, put money in your 401k. We'll match that for you. We'll contribute for you as well. But the investment choices, the options, how much you have, when you spend it, that's all on you. That's all on the employee now. And so you're right. Over the years, our things have, especially in the last 23 years that I've been a financial advisor, things have definitely changed when you talk about insurances, investing, managing money, the stock market. It's been a crazy ride. It's been an awesome. I've really enjoyed the last 23 years of my career. I hope I have another, let's call it 30 or 40 years like you've been doing as long as you have, right? And everybody
I'll
listen.
hang around if you will.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere. As everybody that listens to my show on Sunday mornings, you know, with the kids, with Lexi, Josie, and Carson, my 3 kids being 18, 15, and 12, I'm going nowhere anytime soon, Art.
No, you got to be able to buy those fishing rods.
That's it. Boy, Carson loves his hunting and fishing, and Lexi's off at Michigan State now, and she's on the cheer stunt team. So we got a lot of traveling. Yeah, it's really cool. We got a lot of traveling coming up there, and Josie, our middle daughter, she's super active in gymnastics and cheer and band and you name it. So
it's interesting you say that, Jason, because I tend to think we look at folks that we deal with, we forget that they also have a private life. You know, I look at my financial advisor, and he's just my financial advisor. Well, that's not what he does 24/7.
correct.
He's got a wife and kids and all of that stuff. Goes to the same grocery stores, goes to the church, goes to, you're a member of the community.
Yeah. Well, and I tell her, I built this, my dad and I, when we started this business 23, 24 years ago now, Art, we built this on, it's not all about the money. It's not all about the money. Again, we built it from after my grandfather passed away from cancer, my dad's dad, and what we found was going on in him and Grandma's life financially. We needed to make this not all about the money. We are normal people. We live our own normal lives too, and so we want to build that relationship, have that compassion, just to be able to during the good times we're going to celebrate. During the bad times, we're still going to have to get along with each other. It's not all about the money. There's a lot more to it than the money to life.
My guest, Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors. You hear him on Sundays at 8 a.m., and we will have more. Let me take a moment. Talk about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property. This is where you can go for tires at just $5 over cost. Now, when I say tires, you may be asking yourself, winter's coming. Is there really a difference between the tires I drive on every day and winter tires? Well, the answer is yes, and I've asked John at Quick Lane Freeland to give us the explanation.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures, unlike harder all-season tires which stiffen and lose traction in the cold. This flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in to Quick Lane Freeland on M47 at the McDonald Ford property. It's all part of McDonald Ford. And have them check out your winter tires, or have them check out your tires to see if you need winter tires. And remember, you can buy them for just $5 over cost. While you're there, take a look at the Ford lineup of products from McDonald Ford and their pre-owned vehicle lot, where they have vehicles of all budgets waiting for you. Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford both stand ready to help you with all your automotive needs.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and
We're back with you talking to Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors. You hear him Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Let's talk for a minute about that first meeting someone who had been with another advisor, maybe they've never been with an advisor, maybe they just came into money, whatever the reason, they call you up and say, Jason, I'd like to sit down with you. What's that first session like?
Yeah, great question, and I'm glad we're sharing this because some people are afraid to go see. It's like the doctor theory. I don't want to go see a doctor. I don't want to go see a financial guy. I'm okay. Well, my grandma always used to say, "What you don't know can't hurt you." And so I tell people, with your financial life and your family, that's BS, right? What you don't know could be devastating you, right? Whether it be financially, tax wise, estate planning wise, whatever it might be, right? Health wise. So we call it a portfolio stress test and second opinion. That's what we provide on our first visit. So we say, come on in, sit down in my office. We're going to have coffee, fresh baked cookies, and we're going to kind of talk about where are you today. Art, where are you, and where do you want to be, and what are your goals and aspirations in life, and what scares you, what don't you want to happen, and what keeps you up at night? And if you could paint the most beautiful Norman Rockwell painting of your retirement, tell me what that looks like. And so we take all these goals and dreams, aspirations.
I got to stop you for a minute. What is retirement?
Well, talking to Art, there is no retirement, because I remember telling Art, between segments here, that I remember being 5 years old and watching Art's voice come out of an AM radio at my grandparents' house, and so he says, he's been doing this since 1974 or so. But
I kid, but I've been here since 74. Been doing it since 63.
But that's a great question. So to answer that question, Art, it's different for everybody. As I said earlier, don't do what your brother, your sister, your golf buddy, your friends at church, don't do what they did, because their goals and visions and dreams of retirement or lifestyle could be totally, totally different than yours. So your retirement might be, I'm going to work till 90. Other people's retirement, hey, I'm shutting it down at 55. So depending on what your goals and dreams are, then we take a look at your current portfolio, and we just give you what we call a portfolio stress test and second opinion. Art, really what that is it's an X-ray or an MRI on your money. Let's look at your 401k. Let's peel back the layers of the onion. Let's look at your IRAs, your Roths, your annuities, your mutual fund, whatever it is. And let's just simply look at it from an X-ray standpoint, where an X-ray is designed to find the areas of concern, right? Oh, there's a broken bone, or there's a chip, or the MRI, hey, there's a pulled muscle. Well, the things that are doing good, that's great, but you want to know the areas, I call them areas of opportunity. Where there's a stretched muscle, where there's a chip, where there's a cracked bone, that's an area of opportunity financially that if we can identify that for you, you know the areas you can improve on. And I love showing people the opportunity that they don't need me or an advisor to do that if they want to do it on their own. Or if they'd like help, they can stay with their current advisors, or that's obviously how I can maybe come to the table and help them fix some of those things in their portfolio or take advantage of those opportunities we can identify.
And how long does that first visit take usually?
First meeting takes anywhere from a half hour, 45 minutes. It all depends on how much conversation we get into, right? Some people want to sit down and, hey, 15 minutes, I'm out of here. Other people, and again, I like to talk a lot. I want to learn more about you. I want to learn more about the kids, the grandkids, lifestyle. What do you do on the weekends?
Yeah.
And so sometimes that takes a half hour, 45 minutes before we even get into the money.
And I have to tell you, just from my vantage, if I'm a consumer going into someone like you, I want somebody who converses with me, not just looks at me as a possible customer.
Absolutely.
And just does the nitty gritty. I'm a conversationalist. I want conversation.
Yeah.
And that softens the introduction for me. And I don't know about anybody else. I can only speak for me, but
nope.
But I like the fact that somebody will converse with me and not just talk dollars and cents, but tell me how the kids are and what's going on.
Absolutely. And we'll start off the first 20 minutes, half hour before we even get to. And a lot of times people bring in their statements and they go to push them across the table to me, Art, and I say no. I push them back. I say, wait, I need to learn more about you yet. I mean, it's not all about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's all, you can buy mutual funds or stocks darn near anywhere. You can buy cars anywhere, but there's a reason we build relationships and we stay committed and faithful, is because that's the experience.
Well, we're going to take a break. Jason Kreiderman with us from Great Lakes Investment Advisors, and we will be back with more. We'll also give you contact information and all that when we return.
Did you know most people with a history of...
So independent is something that really kind of separates us apart, not only fiduciary, but independent from
Which means you're not captured by one company or another.
Correct. We're not captive by one company or another. And again, part of what we do is educating people on what your choices are, what the differences are on people you can work with, whether they're captive or not. It's totally up to you if you like that and it's good for you. Whether they're fee-based or commission-driven, totally up to you what you like, and if they're fiduciaries or not. At Great Lakes, I'm a fiduciary. I am fee-based, not commission-driven, and I'm independent, so I'm not captive by any one company that's forcing me or pushing me to what products or services I should sell or offer for that month or that quarter. So we're independent. We help people manage their current 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, 457s, Roth IRAs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, REITs, ETFs, index funds, fixed annuities, index annuities, life insurance. So really, again, we're independent. So there's really
You
nothing.
just described why you need a financial advisor with all those shortcuts.
You're right, and a lot of people don't even know what half those are because
I have no idea what half of them were.
they've inside their 401k, which you're most familiar with. You primarily have 15 to 20 mutual funds, and that's it. But once you have the opportunity to have other money outside of your 401k, or once you retire and you move your 401k to an IRA, you open up a universe, Art, a universe of awesome potential opportunities and different investment choices that might be better for you getting into and through an awesome retirement versus what it took to get you to retirement using mutual funds inside that 401k.
And contact information. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Multiple ways. Our office is right on Saginaw Road in Midland, 135 North Saginaw Road. Stop by. It's an open door policy. Come on in. We have people all the time say, hey, I just heard you on the radio show. Just want to stop by and see where you were at. Make sure you were real. They can give us a call. The phone number is 989-835-7203. Again, that's 989-835-7203. And they can check us out on the web, GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. And that's advisors, O-R-S, GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. A lot of cool stuff there. You can ask to be contacted with us. You can set up for a phone call or an office visit. We just love the opportunity to meet new people, Art, build a new relationship, and see if we can help them from there.
So tell me about the book you wrote. And I asked that because the guy you do the show with loves to give them away.
He does. He's an expensive co-host when it comes to giving away those books. No, it's really interesting. So my dad and I, when Dad was still working with me, we took about a year to year and a half to put this book together. And I'll tell you right now, Art, we did not write this book to get rich. And the reason I say that is because you can go to Amazon. You can type in your financial empower your retirement. You can type in Jason Kreiderman, and the book pops up, and you can buy it for like $15.99. And so I did this right after we wrote the book. I thought, I'm going to go on there because they said you'll get royalty checks anytime somebody buys a book. Great, I'm going to see how much money we're going to make. So I went online, Art. Sure enough, there I was on Amazon. I could buy my own book. Feels weird, but it's pretty cool. But I got a check about 6 weeks later. 73 cents. 73 cents. So now everybody knows.
You need an investment advisor.
Not to handle all that money. And it costs a heck of a lot more than that to cut the check. But my point is, my dad and I did not write that book to sell on Amazon and become rich. We wrote the book so we could share 20 plus years of real life experiences, Art, where we found people like yourself, like your neighbor, like your family members, where we found them, listened to them, and were able to help them personally and financially to improve their lives. And so we wanted to share that between a cover of real easy to read material. A lot of people, after they get our book, Art, whether it's from the radio show that Tony gives them away or from referrals that we give to our clients to give those books away, they'll call us or come in and sit down and they say, Jason, chapter 4, page 78, you were talking to me. Chapter 9, page 110, that was my family you're talking about. And so now I know we've done the right thing. We've helped the right people. And to be able to share those real life experiences, it's just an awesome, I really feel very blessed and honored to be able to write that book. And so anyone listening to this show, you don't have to go to Amazon and buy the book. You can if you'd like to. Call the office. I'll extend the offer that Tony Shore extends on my radio show on Sunday mornings. Call the office. Let us know. We'd be happy to get you a copy of the book.
It's interesting. The book seems to follow the business. And by that, I mean not one size fits all. Not every page in that book fits all.
Not at all. Nope, not at all. In that book, again, it's 20 plus years of real life experiences, how my dad and I have helped people in their 30s to their 90s in all different walks of life around it.
Jason, what does it take to stay ahead of the financial game?
Well, nowadays, as we talked at the beginning of the show, Art, it's moving so fast. It is moving so fast. I think you need a team. I think you need to have a trusted fiduciary advisor that you work with. I really believe fiduciary means a lot nowadays, a heck of a lot more now than it ever did. People never knew what it meant. Nowadays, people are paying attention. That's a question I get asked a lot right in the first 5 minutes of our conversation. Are you a fiduciary? Absolutely, yes, I am. So having a team, having a financial advisor, a trusted fiduciary financial advisor, having an estate planning attorney, have a CPA. You need a team of those professionals that are working with you, because our world is changing so darn fast. Our personal lives are changing, but then these laws and everything's changing around us just on a minute-by-minute basis. To truly try to stay ahead of the game and stay on top of it, you need trusted members of your team working with you.
All right, well, let's end with your phone number again.